He came from like a wrecking ball. Alright guys, it's the top 8 of tonight's Friday Night Magic Standard Tournament from Lost Legion. We've got, obviously, one of our quarterfinal pairings already underway. On the left, it's Logan Cutlip, who's playing Blue-White Control. And his opponent is Brandon Hart, who's playing a Red-Green Monsters, which I can only imagine is the Chris Van Meter deck from Star City. See Logan resolving a turn 2 Omen Speaker and trying to decide how he wants to scry. I did not see what those two cards were, so I apologize, while Brandon leads off with an Elvish Mystic. So it's going to be a classic battle between Control and just fire off some fatties there.
Well, that's the equalizer right there.
That is the best thing that the Monsters deck can do, is cast a turn 2 Domri Rod.
And reveal Gorkling and Patriot.
This is also very good. I approve of all of the things that have just happened. Apologies to those of you in the chat. I know getting a little bit exasperated. This is like the 3rd round in a row we've had Blue-White Control, but there are 3 players in the top 8 that are playing Blue-White, and of course they didn't get to the top 8 without winning, which means that we saw a lot of them already. So while these guys are playing a couple turns here, let's go ahead. The other quarterfinals, Rick Pittman on Mono Blue Devotion is squaring off against Drew Scher on Mono Black Devotion. Brian Gross on the Kibler Black-Green deck is squaring off with Jonathan Wright, who's on Blue-White Control. There's the matchup we're seeing here. And then Scotty Wright, who's playing Blue-White, we saw in our last round. He's squaring off against Joseph Deal's Mono Red Blitz deck. So it is possible that we can have 3 Blue-White decks in the top 4. And this would be, if that's the case, it would be a week that I hope they draw. Or I hope they chop, but we'll see. Of course, with the Lost Legion now doing a FNM, a cumulative FNM, contest. If you they have monthly championships and a yearly championship at the end. So winning the tournament actually a little bit more lucrative than in past weeks, or in past years. So maybe they'll play it out here. Hopefully more people will start showing up, since that is very lucrative for all those involved. Let's talk a little bit more about the action here. We already saw Adama reveal a Gore Clan Ramurature, and it's slowly ticking up to 5. This Xenagos is going to, we're going to cycle a Quicken, and I guess try to draw a Syncopate for 1, but we do not. Xenagos makes an appearance. We can tick it up, make 2 mana, or we can just make a Satyr.
I think regardless, the play, even if you have a 2-mana cost in your hand, you just make a Satyr here. You don't want to overextend.
That seems like the worst thing you could do.
It's not going to get any better.
Well, next turn you could overload it if you wanted to.
Logan got aggressive with the he's on Omen Speaker beat count right now. But yeah, with Logan being able to sculpt his hand and set up the top of his deck through 2 Omen Speakers, you gotta expect some kind of Detention Sphere or Screen Verdict here.
I think I see a Verdict in his hand. I think he scried one of those to the top very early, but he's on 3 naturally drawn islands here. So he's 2 white sources away from being able to cast it.
Yep.
Alright,
You almost timed that one out too.
There you go. So we miss on the Domri activation. Logan using his Omen Speakers to keep the Domris honest. I want Omen Speaker to be good. I want it to be good so bad, but it's just not an Ankar Bolus.
No,
It doesn't cycle. You think it cycles. It does not.
There's no
Polychronous.
real depth to the card either. There's a Polychronous. Like, with Ankar Bolus in there, it's going to need a dissolve. So no Polychronous. With Ankar Bolus, you had the option. So we're going to make mana.
How do we have mana to do all of that?
Well, he +1 Xenagos to make 2 mana, and then he had
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4 and 3. Yeah.
So anyway, any Restoration Angel made Ankar Bolus obviously a whole lot better, because then your Restoration Angel can draw your card.
And you're not down a card. Like, this is the kind of thing like Faithless Looting. Like, Faithless Looting feels like you're moving through your deck, but you're just constantly giving up a card.
But even, like, I've looked at, like, there's another Polukranos. And there's another counterspell.
Well, I mean, he's got to do something with this garbage mana he has, which is just 3 islands. At least we can start serving in with Boon Satyrs here. There's a Storm Breath. I bet we're gonna wish we had. I mean, you're very happy netting 2 Polukranos with your counter spells, but you're very disappointed to see.
The pros where you're trying to get
yes.
down.
Yeah, but we know we have the verdicts. It's just a matter of drawing the mana we need to cast them.
Right. So getting back to Omen Speaker, like there's 2 major cards that can interact with it very well. Void Welder is a massive wall for all these aggro decks. They can also bounce your Omen Speaker, let you replay it the next turn, scry 2. That's not very productive though, because you're still just down 2 cards.
Yep.
And then the other one is Far and Away, which you could fuse, target yourself with the bounce, target them with the sacrifice, and get to rebuy your Omen Speaker to scry 2 more cards, but then again, you're down,
I'd rather just play Temple of Silence. So in that one we missed, we saw a Xenagos activation, netting enough mana, letting 3 mana from creatures, tapping 2 mana dorks, playing the aforementioned Stormbreath Dragon, getting in for, what, is it a 4-2 on the Boon Satyr? On the Boon Satyr.
Oh no, the Boon Satyr already has answers for it, like Detention Sphere and Supreme Breaks and stuff like that. However, yeah, he might bring in like pro-blue creatures. Logan,
Miscutter's coming for sure.
Logan doesn't have
like a catch-all answer.
Yeah, he already has a Detention Spheres man. He already has a Supreme Vertex, his Dissolve. And usually the Dissolves, the counter spells aren't very good in this matchup, so you just hang out a number of them.
Yeah,
so
Brandon's deck is probably favored slightly in game 1, and like it just gets more difficult.
Just snowballs in game 2.
I'm sure this is why Van Meter like started with this deck, is because it has a good Esper and blue-white matchup. So an early D-Sphere takes in a Scavenging Ooze. Brandon's going to be thrilled about that because it clears the path for this Domri Rod.
You only have 4 D-Spheres in your deck.
Revealing Gorklam Rampagers. So a little bit, possibly, well, if you have all the D-Spheres. I still don't like the D-Sphere on the Scavenging Ooze, but I like it a lot better when I see the second one on the Domri. So Temple of Abandoned Scrying. Brand's going to leave it on top. I see Polukranos in his hand. There's another Ooze. We saw him reveal a Gorklan Rampager.
Surrounded by spheres.
It's like the upright. Looks like some kind of Johnny Five type.
I'll put one sphere over here, and then this other sphere over here.
So Logan finds his 4th land, but it's a Guild Gate, so it comes into play tapped and then passes back.
So no Jace this turn, Brand.
So I guess Brandon deciding if he wants to fire a... I guess we're hard casting the Gorklan at this point.
Yeah. If Gorklan's still in his deck, there's Polukranos.
I think I would cast the... I would cast the Gorklan, I think. Does Polukranos read opponent's creatures?
Yes. It's opponent's creatures, and he has to have a target before anybody asks.
Spiking on the chat saying for Richmond I should play Tribal Flame Zoo.
Tribal Plains Zoo sounds much better, though.
That deck's not very good.
It's called Humans. Tribal Plains.
Tribal Flames, the one I have, the one I built of my own volition, is not very good, I don't think. Which is probably because I built it and didn't copy it off the internet. Well, if I wanted a good deck, I should let someone who's good at Magic build it.
There's the Jace that's technically 2 turns behind.
And we're going to draw lands here, so do you want to fix her or the 2 other ones? You take the...
Brandon made a very quick decision there on that pile. I was like, no, wait.
He's going to take the pile with 2 in it anyway, so might as well give him the one where he's going to have to shock himself.
Yes.
Or come into play tapped. It's mostly irrelevant. And we're going to eat a card out of the graveyard anyway, which is relevant because of Elixir.
Yes. I don't think Archaea Nature is going to make it in Logan's deck, but Elixir is definitely relevant.
I'm glad Tommy gets the Spike Johnny 5 as the one of my favorite comedians makes a joke about Johnny 5. He says he wants to see a point where there's like a robot takeover, but the robots aren't very good at it.
that's 13, 15 damage coming at your face.
Well, I mean, you might as well. I mean, I'm fine with that, I guess. Like, if you just want to end the game. So 8, 12, 15 to 16.
Better in the game because he just discarded 2 cards. Would you start the game at 12 life if your opponent had to start on 5 cards?
Depends on what deck I'm playing. If I'm playing against control, yes. Every time. I'm fine with that. So we tick up the Jace here. 4 mana for Verdict. Verdict, I barely knew her. In response, going to eat the Gore Clan. Now that seems wrong. Because you do have, I mean, he's already burned through 1 ooze, so maybe, I don't know how many he plays. But aren't we just dead here to a,
It doesn't change the clock off
that dragon? Aren't we just dead to a dragon here? Has to be exactly syncopate for 1. Obviously, Brandon doesn't have dragon. Uh-oh, have we drawn Sundering Growth here? Or
Well,
just...
it is Destructive Revelry, which is 3 damage. Yeah, Brandon might have it, but there's Essence Scatter and Syncopate that he has to play around. Yep, had it.
He just wins.
No, he could get Essence Scatter.
Well, but you don't stop, you don't not do it. You know what I mean?
There's
Essence
if there's a
Scatter.
non-haste creature in this game, that's a debate.
Essence Scatter or...
Attack you.
Well, there we go.
Rift.
Rift buys him a turn. So, I thought he was dead to non-counter spell, but Logan uses the bounce off a Rift to buy himself a turn.
-2 the Jace.
Nope, we just tick it up for no reason. That's not a good Magic play. Because the dragon kills you for 3. Unless we have Sphinx.
He obviously has an answer.
Well, sure he does.
Or he's Logan. One or the other.
But my joke about Johnny 5 was that robot takeover where the robots just aren't very good at it yet. It's just like he's like a coffee pot and like a broken... It's like a programmable coffee pot and a broken printer. And Johnny 5, he has the power to evoke nostalgia.
There's a Garrick.
Garrett Caller of Beasts. I'm going to tick it up, lead the Stampede, and see what goodies we can draw here. So let's spin the wheel. Revelry, Mountain, Elvish Mystic, Rurik Thar, and another dragon. 2 very good rips off the top.
And he can -3 that Garrick at the next turn to Dramatic Entrance that were there.
Rurik Thar is going to be very tough. So Logan's going to fire off a
Red for 4.
Red for 4, puts him back up to 7. More importantly, draws him 4 cards.
So he's going to need, he has to get rid of the Garrick.
He has to de-sphere the Garrick.
Or he has to have more life gain because the Dramatic Entrance off Garrick next turn is going to put a Road Thorn into play.
He drew a Pithing Needle.
Okay, that's fine. I'll allow it.
And we also know that Brandon just shoved a Destructive Revelry to the bottom.
Yeah, and also if he had it, he would have just won the game because it does 3 damage.
Alright.
I'm still laughing at the evoke nostalgia.
Which one did the HFK just said that joke gave me cancer?
So now Logan with more cards in his hand has got a couple decisions to make.
Yep, you're right. He's got 2 must-answer threats here. He's got the Stormbreath Dragon, which won't kill him this turn, but will be nearly impossible to kill short of a Verdict. And then we've got Rurik Thar, which we can cheat into play with Garrick's minus ability,
Yeah, I think.
which will effectively end the game because Logan will have 1 turn to answer it, and then we'll die to the dragon.
I think you have to. Like, entering the Garrick this turn is also entering the creature because it's very unlikely that
D-Sphere.
Brandon pluses it next turn with 2 dragons and a Rurik Thar in his hand.
No.
He has too much business. So there's, he uses the D-Sphere on the Garrick and saves the needle for...
I have no idea. And just passes back.
Xenagos is a very good card against the white deck too. You might want to use it for that.
Well, if you're going to do that, you should just slam it now and do it. Because, like, he's at a life total where the Satyrs attacking in are not irrelevant.
There's not much he can hold up at 4 mana. That he couldn't hold up at 3.
Destructive Revelry
So that must have been off the top.
on the D sphere does 3 damage and disenchant, right?
Uh-huh. Destroy target artifact or enchantments.
So Logan deciding if he wants to counter this. He absolutely has to counter this, because unless Brandon has a 5th land, or another land to play, that Dragon's not going to make an appearance. And you just lose to that stupid Garrick because of the Rurkthar. You'd likely lose to the Garrick even if there wasn't a Rurkthar, just in terms of inevitability, but...
Right. Yeah, that was a must counter.
So Dissolve takes out the Revelry. Garrick stays hidden. We scry to the bottom. All these D-spheres all up in the red zone. Still had all these Domri Rot. So I'm going to take that bad boy up, revealing Pelucranos. So we know there's a Rurkthar, a Dragon, and a Pelucranos in his hand.
Yeah, and we know that there's 2 dragons in his hand. Logan only knows about 1. No, Logan knows about both of them, because one got rifted.
That's a critical error by Logan, not knowing what's in his opponent's hand via cheating.
No, he knew about it because he rifted it.
Oh, yes.
He saw one off the Garrick.
And then one was revealed off Garrick, yeah.
So he knows about 2 dragons, a Pelucranos and a Rurkthar, the Unbowed. So there's a Syncropate, a Hollow Fountain.
In the last breath.
Last breath.
It's a Guildgate. It's irrelevant, really, but you never know. Actually, it is relevant because of Syncopate. So the choice is Syncopate or the other 2 cards, which I don't really think the other 2 cards are relevant. Syncopate, or the Last Breath, is basically irrelevant at this point.
Right.
And the Guildgate is mostly irrelevant in that it comes down to turn 2 late anyway. Of course, that Syncopate is foil, so it will counter 2 spells.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how much mana they have open. You just play 1 blue.
Logan playing his 1 Unhinged Plains, which causes me to wonder why has he not traded that to me. We're going to needle the Domri here.
Sounds good. I mean, if Logan doesn't have a Revelation in his hand, that Domri's just going to take over. Logan needs a Revelation. 1 more Revelation with this amount of mana would close out the game.
Yep. It could very well do that.
He's out of Detention Spheres, but he's answered all of the non-creature threats that Brandon's played. He's Pithing Needling. Domri. Yep, right.
Needle on Domri.
Does he still have the Jace over there?
Yes.
It's been taken up this whole time?
No, he drew cards, remember?
Okay.
Remember, Garrett, he drew cards.
Did you Karn?
So it's unlikely that Brandon has more than 2 copies of Destructive Revelry in the sideboard, right? 1 is at the bottom of his deck, 1 is countered. There is Stormbreath Dragon number 1.
Pull the trigger.
Essence Scatter.
We have to Syncopate mana.
And there's an Elvish Mystic.
Gotcha. This is what I wanted anyway.
I baited you with my 4/4 haste guy. Totally landed. Stupid ass new Llanowar elf. Cycle that Azorius Charm.
He's running quickly.
Quickly
running out
falling
of
behind
gas.
here. We're going to draw some more cards with... Oh, Rev or
Found
no?
it.
Logan says, there it is. That's what he said. I heard him. So Rev is going to be good for 6 at this point. So you just pass and then Rev, right?
Yep. Play your land.
He already played one.
Okay.
It's just a fundamental mistake. You Jace
Sorry.
before
You
you...
always draw your cards before you make any decisions. If you're going to draw cards this turn. So Brandon can play another threat, which will...
Dude, he has a threat. He has Elvish Mystic.
which will
It's
probably
a 7-turn
draw
clock,
the,
son.
Draw the Syncopate from Logan. hold off the ref for another turn and let you draw some kind of.
Nope. We're just. Oh no! Wait. Why are we doing this? Why are we tapping our win con?
We're going to miss 1 point of damage if he doesn't have a 3-mana spell.
Storm Breath Dragon. Most certainly going to get counterspelled. Of course, what have we burned through so far? Essence Scatter and a Dissolve. What? It resolved? Why did we get... Oh, this is in response to... What is it for free damage? So gain that 6 life. More importantly,
He's only
draw
cast 1
6
verdict
cards.
this game, right?
Yes.
Or does he cast any verdicts?
He cast 1 very early. It's in his graveyard. It killed the Pelucranos because he's then going to take 4 damage from the Storm Breath. So Brandon has a window here to resolve a 3-drop, which he doesn't play in his deck. Well, he has Domri. George's going to do some quick rearranging in here.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Yeah, there's no real 3-drop with the green red deck except for Doomsader. And even if that's the case, I think you would attack with your Albatross deck. No, that's lethal next turn. If Logan didn't find an answer, Brandon can end up turn Doomsader and then have 9 damage on board. It's very unlikely that Logan doesn't have an answer, but that's one of the outs that Brandon can be playing too.
Come on, Logan. Just pitch some cards. It's a contest between Big Jordan and Little Jordan to see who can be louder.
Yes. And they've come here to do this. They've come here to do this.
They have. So Logan's still in his cleanup here, discarding cards from his Sphinx's Revelation. So Brandon untaps. Logan has a full grip here. We know Brandon has a Rorkthar in his hand and a Pelucranos. He has a Domri which he can't activate because of Pithing Needle.
Nah, I think Needle's on something else. Branch is really lazy.
We're serving in with the Storm Breath.
That Mystic never attacking.
Seems wrong to me, but I don't know. Especially since...
Oh, Jace might be +1, right? He didn't last turn, but he might have this turn.
Yes, he did. He definitely did this turn, but last turn he left 3 mana open, so... Quicken Verdict. Last week was the first time I'd seen it, I think, at FNM. This week, I've seen it like 4 times. No joke. So in response, Monstrous. So that's going to be
5 damage.
Should be 6 because the Quicken cycles.
Yes.
It's a good play from Brandon there to force that damage through. Destructive Revelry for the win. Logan draws for a turn. Elixir.
And that's going to be so frustrating for Brandon. You expect it after he's drawn an extra 9 cards this game, plus had multiple chase activations. But having down a 3 life with a Storm Breath in hand.
Logan's got to do something here, even if it's wrong. You don't get to untap it. You already used it. Were you lining up Elspeth mana here? Seems like a fine time to land an Elspeth if you want. You've already answered 3 dragons, right? Or 2 dragons?
He knows about the other dragon. The question is...
There we go.
Does he remember about the other guy?
Ethan.
3-turn clock. No, he knows about both dragons because he killed the one. He countered the one, and
I'm fully aware that he knows about it. I'm asking, does he remember?
Oh, it is Logan. Hey-oh. Revelry is 2 damage, the chat is saying.
Key Corruption is 3 damage.
Third dragon on board. Are we going to dissipate here or dissolve? We are.
That's the third resolve.
They've all been good. Leaving one on top here, so Brandon's got to be a little bit crestfallen about that. Shocks himself and casts a Pelucranos.
The only card you leave on top of the drawing in place makes your revelation.
Yep. What does he draw? I can't see.
What time's Grand Prix start?
10 o'clock.
10.
10 a.m.
No, 10 p.m.
10 a.m. over there, which would be 3 a.m. here. That's assuming they broadcast round 1.
Yeah, they usually start on round 3. Or sorry, usually start on round 4. Because that's whenever the pros come in.
Pros get 3-round buys to these things.
Yes, most of them do.
And showing low quality players is usually not worth their time.
Yeah, if you want to watch low quality players play on stream, just come here. Up top. I gotta give props to Brandon for matching Zendikar. Well, I now realize I traded all those to him. Because he was helping me finish my foil shot collection.
Yeah.
And he's like, here's a list of all the ones I have. Here's the ones I have to trade arts for. And I went home and just got him a big old box full. So he's got 20 matchers of each.
I gotta give props to Logan for having 4 matching attention spheres. And then spacing them equally across the...
Well, he's assembled the news team, is what I like to say. He's got all...
Now he's got 1 slot that you can attack through.
The Spore Spheres of Apocalypse.
And there is a Syncopate for 5, which is going to answer the Rurik Thar.
Whenever they had Return to Ravnica FAQ,
Pelucranos. Yes.
there was the ruling about having 4 detention spheres on board is like the old artifacts where only 1 creature can attack and block per combat. That's what we got going on. Since there's only 1 space that they can go through.
They can only have to go through the wall of detention spheres. Look at that one. Elspeth, Elsith, or Azorius. Guildgate.
You get 2 Elspeths.
That's wrong. It doesn't matter,
It
but...
doesn't matter.
Actually, I think it's probably right. That way, if you happen to kill one of them... I don't think Logan's ever going to cast it, honestly.
That Jace has drawn him like 10 cards.
He's got 2 attack steps here with the Aetherling.
That was a turn 6 Jace that never died. That has just been drawing 2 extra cards every 2 turns.
I'm going to read how Pelucranos is written.
I told you. Next time to blame me.
So you can't have 0 on Pelucranos, right? You can't? Has to have a target?
Has to have a target.
Someone in chat said if there wasn't a target, you don't have the target, but if there is one on board, you have the target.
I think you have to have a target. I think the Gatherer ruling says it can't be 0.
It cannot be 0. It has to have a target. You cannot activate Pelucranos on whatever your opponent has 0 creatures in play. It is an illegal play.
Yeah, unless X is 0. You can't activate it for 0.
Okay.
If for some reason you would want to do that thing. So he does cast the... Alright. Oh, I thought we were moving to the next game. Brandon's just untapping all his lands.
Is Logan still at 3?
Yep. He didn't attack with his Aetherling? Oh, because he had to blink his Aetherling in order to exile the... in order to verdict with Elspeth. To get rid of the Pelucranos. Make 3 tokens. The most brutal part about this is there's going to be a 3rd game.
Yes.
It seems like every week the quarterfinals is with the sloggiest, like just most. It just takes forever.
You could have put the mono red deck on. You had that option.
Yeah, but then I have like 30 minutes of downtime. Huh?
Could have gone home.
I could have gone home, but it also doesn't solve the problem.
Cycle Charm. Oh no, we're doing that guy's life link. We're doing something with it.
Yeah, lifelink. You taking off, George?
I gotta catch the bus.
All right, bud.
Sorry.
George has a goat. So he's having a goat.
Yes. Yes. There it is.
Who won between Drew and Rick?
I don't know. I think Rick did.
Drew's skating on 6 points. Drew was skating on 6 points.
He snuck in. Yeah, he just played Rick in the fourth round.
So Brandon on the play here with a turn 2 Sylvan Caryatid. More importantly, Brandon has switched to lands above permanents.
Uh-oh.
He's going deep for the. He's tilted. We
Those
slam.
D-spheres got to him.
We slam.
Which way's up?
We slam Plukernos and get Essence scattered here.
Yeah, with the Xenagos.
Ozargus?
Xenagos. The most often
And
used
Brandon.
card in Standard.
Brandon cast Zergus. He's gonna make a satyr.
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 Is that how it calls it?
Yes.
People in the chat are saying that if there's a blue-white mirror match, they're out.
Oh, alright.
Well, there's no.
I'm gonna leave on my birthday.
Is it your birthday today?
It's not my birthday?
No.
You don't believe it's my birthday?
No, it's Scotty's birthday.
You gonna bet?
You're twins, so yeah, I guess it is your birthday.
Burn. Pithy Needle answers Xenagos.
I never get treatment right on my birthday. Abused.
It is your birthday.
Yes, it is.
You are 19.
Did we needle?
So little.
You missed
The shape of my ass.
You missed a needle.
A needle.
Yeah, and you missed a lane drop, which is the more important.
Needle. It's an elixir.
No, it's not a needle. Damn it.
So that Domri's going to resolve. This game's basically over at this point. As Logan misses his second land drop.
This could easily net 0 cards and then get the chances for your next turn.
Sure. But if it doesn't,
Still Xenagos.
he's gone to Pithy Needle.
Oh, that's right.
He
He still has Xenagos.
He still has Xenagos. Like he has the devotion.
Oh gosh, exactly what you said just happened.
I mean, he kept a 2-lander, so you know he had to have like 3
Two
mana
detection
spells.
spheres.
Maybe he has like 2 counter spells too.
Probably divination.
A long off tax I'm not getting over here. To ya. Boon Satyr it. That'd be a 6-ball coming at you.
Did we say here?
Yes. He even got him. He's like, to ya. And Logan's like, yeah, that's fine. Nope.
No.
6, yeah.
Before damage, I'm going to read this card here.
He's gonna smell it.
Boonsatyr says...
Logan now smelling Boon Satyr.
Smells like it's good against Verdict. Boonsatyr basically says target Supreme Verdict isn't as good as you want it to be.
Target Azorius Charm is also kind of mediocre.
It's not bad.
I mean, it kills a 2/2.
Fogs for a turn and you can verdict on his.
It puts a dead weight on the Boon Satyr.
This is a very good one from Cardboard Carp. It says, Zergus and Syncopate, you guys need to lay off the water, because we've discussed and multiple times tonight how the...
See you guys. See you.
later. How the The local water supply has recently been contaminated by chemical leak. It's a federal disaster area here, which is causing us apparently to mumble our planeswalker names.
It's the start of the zombie apocalypse. That's what it is.
Did Adam call syncopate at all during your match?
Yes.
He did.
Probably.
He calls it that whenever he's not even playing it. He just walks around saying syncopate. He was also very excited to show me a Gaze of Granite and the comic book for this month, and then go put it back.
Gaze
It's
of
like, yeah, I'm not
Granite.
gonna buy it.
You love Gaze of Granite, though.
But he was so excited to show me, he's like, oh yeah, look at this one.
Or as it's better known, Gurzakerner.
Gaze of Granite?
So we're serving in here with a Boon Satyr Satyr. A Boon Satyr Satyr.
A satyr. A satyred satyr.
Boon Satyr squared.
It's just like on its back or something.
I don't know. How's a Squadron Hawk carry 2 swords?
It's got 2 talons and a beak.
Yeah, but it can't carry 2
It
swords.
can't.
Hold
Tell
on,
that to
if
it.
what's the Monty Python joke? If it's an African, if it's an
Well, of
African,
course, if it's a...
Squadron Hawk.
What?
Jonathan's never seen Monty Python.
So
Have.
we cycle the Azorius Charm, and then we gain 5 life from the elixir. So we go back up to 9.
That's a counterspell, basically.
Logan dead to a variety of cards next turn, with the attack for 6. Rurkthar pretty much deals it up, a dragon. If any of this stuff resolves.
Azorius Charm could have prevented a lot of damage.
We're talking about the old infamous lands in front in the chat again. Everyone hates it, but I will say the same thing I say every time. In revised, alpha through revised, the Magic, How to Play Magic book that came with all the starter products said put lands in front.
Right, and you also got to draw 3 cards for 1 mana.
Yeah, but that wasn't a fundamental rule of the game. That was just a card. But I'm just saying that's how Magic was originally taught. They quickly realized it doesn't make sense because of the attacking. And it was in Pro Tour Chicago, I think in 2000, where they first had the first playmat that had the red zone.
I mean, I kind of like it.
The red zone?
Flavor-wise. No, I mean, the lands in front.
It doesn't make any
Across
sense.
lands to
Yeah, but
damage your opponent.
yeah, but in Magic we don't travel across the lands. We draw the energy from the
Figuratively, you
lands.
do.
No, figuratively we don't. They're the source
Why can't
of the
they
energy.
be crossed and have magic drawn from them?
Because you can't have your
More
cake and eat it too,
importantly,
even on your birthday.
Whether you travel across or you draw energy from your damn forest, is Logan took another 6 hit here.
Yep.
Our cycle is quickened. Yep. Didn't hit a verdict. So Logan not without a lot of library manipulation in this game.
You know what you need? Is Azorius Charm.
He might have sided a number of them out.
But he has some in.
Like it's good against the Polychronos and
I never said it wasn't good or not. He still has them in there.
Scavenger Use draws, but against the Boon Satyr Stormbreath Dragon draws, it's Stormbreath not as good.
What are we doing this to?
The token? I imagine.
Yeah, you do to the token because if not, you can just recast the Boon Satyr.
And deal 2 damage. Put you
Or
away.
you can bestow it again.
Oh, that's
kill
true,
it.
yeah.
Alright.
He's doing it to his own pithy needle.
What is this Brandon drawing area here?
Who knows? Scotty, do you know if Rick won?
He did.
Okay. So it's going to be monsters, mono blue, and 2 blue-white decks.
Mono black, Drew's on mono black.
Drew lost.
No, Rick lost. I thought Scotty just said he didn't.
No, he did. He did. I said he did. Man, that water's doing something to your hearing, man. You shouldn't have taken that shower.
I did take a shower today.
You did?
Everybody, I'm clean.
Thank you. Except for the methane.
D-Sphere on your Boon Satyr.
And Stormbreath Dragon.
Stormbreath Dragon for the sweet victory. Although we have Dissipate
No,
open.
he's choosing between Stormbreath Dragon and the Hydra, right?
Yeah, it's a Hydra.
We have 7 mana here.
So so I'm not even.
Hydra.
Rurik Thar.
Goats.
Hydra.
Hydra with his.
Nothing you can do about that unless you have
Hydra leaving up Secret
Gore
Mana.
nothing wrong
case-
with. Oh well, no,
In case
there's
Logan
something
wants
wrong
to
with that.
counter the uncounterable spell.
Because you can't